The Word of God comes to us from Matthew, the 2nd chapter, verses 13 through 18. It can be found on 1502 of the Bibles you'll find on your chairs. It was a good year ago when we looked at this weekend and we saw that Christmas Eve was going to be on Saturday night, and Christmas, of course, is falling on Sunday, as it's wont to do about every 7 years. And we thought, what will we do right now? And part of the idea was we had good worship last night for those that were able to be here. And this morning, let's have some breakfast and drink some coffee, and let's eat some sticky buns, sing a couple songs, and take an offering, and call it a day. But today we receive the Word of the Lord. And the Word of the Lord has something powerful and strong, challenging, and my prayer is comforting for us today. Because we know each other well, do we not? And we look around the room and we see the things that have changed from last year, and the people that are not with us today that were with us last year. And what is the Word of the Lord to us today? And this is what it is. A couple of years after the birth of Jesus, the Magi had come, gold and frankincense and myrrh, and they're going on a safe way back home. And we kind of wrap that all up with a Christmas story, and what a great day of celebration. And then, right after that, right out of Christmas morning, just when we're ready to go out back and see whether there's any sticky buns left, when they had gone, them being the Magi, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said. "Take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he'd been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious. And he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and younger, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. Let's pray. Spirit of the living God, please fall fresh on us. Because your word and your spirit is our very life. There are days when it seems like we can just go along and we're just fine, thank you, by ourselves. And then there's times when we know we can't make it for another minute, another hour, another day. Without your Spirit's presence, we will perish. Spirit of God, fall on us as a community today, we pray. In Jesus' name. We've been talking for the last few weeks about socks and underwear, about the gifts that God gives us, gifts that are perfect gifts, gifts that are imperfect gifts, gifts that don't look so good in the beginning, but hold on a little bit because they turn out better than we thought. And today we're going to talk about gifts that we like to return. There are some things that happen in our lives that we wish we could just send back. My sister, bless her heart. People from the South say if you say bless your heart about somebody, then you can say anything you want. My sister always sent me the wrong size sweaters. She picked out the most beautiful sweaters, and she wrapped them beautifully, and she made me my favorite peanut butter cookies, and she handed them to me, and they were always a medium. There was a time when I was a medium. Well, there was a time when I was a small, too. But that ship had sailed. And year after year after year, she would give me these beautiful sweaters that came from her heart, and I would say thank you. And I hoped that one day she would look at me and say, partly because of my peanut butter cookies, you don't look so medium anymore. But I never had the heart to tell her that I wasn't medium. So I just returned them with a bigger size. There's some things that happen in our lives that we just wish we could send back. It's not what we want. It's not what we need. There's nothing good that can come from them, at least so it seems. We're pretty sure about that. And we would just like to undo it and send it back. Christmas morning, for heaven's sakes. We're here. It's wonderful. We're together with one another. Why do we have to read about the death of the innocents? Matthew, why do you have to put that right there, right in the middle of the Christmas story? It's like a smack in the face. It's like a bucket of cold water. Why, of all days, do we have to talk about the death of the innocents? We know the story. The Magi leave. They've been warned to go back a safe way. Herod is a psychopath. Anyone, including his family, that he even begins to think is a threat to his throne, he has to destroy, even his family. And he has heard that this one is now called the King of the Jews, and that is way over the line. And so it's about 2 years since the star, 2 years since the birth of Christ, and so he sends the command. All the boys, 2 years and younger, let's just be on the safe side. Let's just destroy them all. Why do we have to read this? Sure, there is a huge account here of the provision of God and the leadership of God and the protection of God. The love that the Father has for the Son to take him to Egypt. Of all places. This is the reverse Exodus. You see that? Where the people of Israel have, before with Moses, come out of Egypt. They've gone into the promised land to be saved. But now Mary and Joseph and Jesus are in the promised land, and they're being sent back to Egypt. It's backwards. The place that was safe is now dangerous. The place that was dangerous, the place of evil, the place of sorcery, the worst place that a Jew could possibly go, is now the place of safety. And the Father instructs them. Joseph in a dream. Go back to Egypt to fulfill Scripture. And soon he's going to be moving him around a little bit more to keep him safe, to fulfill more Scripture. So, here we are. Why in the world does Matthew have to tell us the story? Okay, it's true, it's powerful, there's a lesson. But why there and why today? Who read this verse? Who read this verse? People about 70 AD. And they were God's people. And they were under persecution. And they were losing their loved ones. Nero's in power, and he's using all the power of the throne to destroy any Christian that he can. And so they open the book, and God begins to explain to them there are two things that the Christmas story is about. The first one is something that breaks our heart. That is the birth of the Messiah, the coming of the Christ. Doesn't end the suffering. People still die. Loved ones are still gone. Jobs are still lost. So this goes on. And the people in the early church needed to hear that. Because this was a bitter disappointment. They really believe they've been waiting for hundreds and hundreds of years. When the Messiah comes, it's going to be great. When the Messiah comes, they're going to throw off the soldiers and they're going to give us back our freedom and we're going to worship in the way that we want to do it. when the Messiah comes, when the Christ comes, when the Jesus comes, life is going to be perfect. When I become a Christian, when I trust God, when I believe, when I pray, when I go to church, it's going to be